Lafayette College was founded around 1832. We currently have about 2,300 students, all undergraduate. Engineering is very strong here. Business, econ, and English are also very strong, but I think one of the selling points for the college is that it's strong in engineering and humanities, so there's a very sort of liberal arts approach to academics here. And our goal was to design a redundant system so that once professors would learn how to use one system, they would be able to go into any classroom on campus and be presented with the exact same touch panel design and equipment.
There are two basic types of classrooms here at Lafayette. What we kind of call a standard classroom, which is single projector and the 5-inch touch panel and the equipment, the standard classroom equipment. And then we also have some auditoriums, which are bigger rooms. They would generally have 2 or more projectors, and they also have some specialized equipment. Some have slide projectors that come down out of the ceiling. Some might have laser disc players or other specialized equipment depending on the needs of that particular facility. And we also have a number of labs on campus that are equipped with AMX technology, especially in the psychology department. They have a human observation lab. They have a lab where they study birds, and they also have another one where they study fish behavior.
Typical smart classroom consists of a NetLinks controller, a 5.5-inch touch panel, computer, either PC or Mac, laptop input, VCR, DVD, and document camera. We also have an auxiliary input with the system switchers we use that's available should someone need to bring in a digital camera or some other video source.
In 2001, we started replacing some of the older smart classroom technology with NetLinks-based systems in Oxley Hall, where there were 11 rooms installed.
There are actually 66 classrooms on campus that are smart. 58 have NetLinks systems installed and Meeting Manager installed, with another 10 to come online this summer of 2004.
The reaction of the faculty to the systems has been generally positive, and that's evidenced by the increased demand to teach in these rooms.
Typically, a teacher will basically just touch the touch panel, presented with the opening screen, select a source, and they oftentimes like to set up what they're doing and sort of walk away from the podium, walk away from the technology, circulate, particularly in smaller classes. Lafayette has a lot of 15 to 20 person classes where part of the interaction and the benefits of a college like Lafayette is that the professor and student relationship is close. So we wanted the technology to plug into that scenario so that it was quick and easy, but something that didn't impede on that interaction, something that flowed well for that. So they basically want to set it up, get it going, and then know that it's going to continue to work reliably throughout their class period.
We offer training for faculty that are going to be teaching in smart classrooms as far as how to operate the equipment, but we find that there's generally not very much demand for that training. Partly that is because they learn from their other faculty members who in 5 minutes can show them how the equipment operates, so they don't really have a need for a training session. And we've also published classroom guides on our department website. They're PDF documents that you can view on screen or you can print out that show the layout of the touch screens and explain what all the different functions do. So we found that a lot of people utilize those, especially at the beginning of a semester, or new people, or people from off campus that are coming for a one-time event.
Basically, there were a couple things at work. One was I came to this job with a very sort of network background, IT background. And when I saw the NetLinks product, it looked to me like something I was familiar with, something that's an enterprise level device that can help me manage things in a wide area network such as what we have here. So I was really comfortable with that as a solution for an AV installation. I really liked that idea, to be able to have an IP addressable system that I can telnet to or pull up web pages for. That was important for me. Secondly, what I liked about AMX in particular is I found the programming language and the interfaces to be familiar to me. It was stuff that I basically identified with. The programming language was similar to things I had done before. There was a lot of JavaScript involved in the web pages and so on. So it plugged in easily to not only a knowledge base that I had, but existing technologies, which for me made a lot of sense. You know, to buy something that you have to learn some proprietary thing to get it to work, I mean, that was not an option. So we really liked that in the AMX system. From the outset, when we identified NetLinks as the product we were going to go with in 2001, we anticipated a meeting manager-like solution as part of that deployment. So from the get-go, we wanted that kind of management. There were several issues we were looking at. First of all, we have a very small staff and we have a large number of classrooms. So support for us is a huge, huge issue. Part of our meeting manager deployment, we have help screens on the panels. So if there's a problem or emergency in the classroom, which by the way don't have any phones, in some areas cell phone reception is poor, this allows a professor to use the touch panel to communicate directly with us. So it's helped us to address a support issue, both an emergency response issue as it emails to a pager, or if it's just something that the professor's having trouble with that they might want to let us know about, but they don't have to wait until they see us in the hallway to do that. They can actually go, there's a way we've designed a system, and report that there is a problem without having it go to a pager and alert us that there was an issue. I was looking for a way that I could know what was going on in each system at any given time, and also for a way for me to then go back and say, here's what's being used, here's what's not being used, so I can do things like phasing out of older technologies, laser discs, things like that, as well as discover things about how the systems are used so we can better engineer future systems. Or, for example, find people who are using a document camera proficiently and have those people teach other people how they're using the document camera or a given technology in a classroom. So these are the things the department was looking for out of an AV system. And really that's what Meeting Manager brings to us.
Meeting Manager has provided a way for me to monitor classroom usage and general status of the smart classrooms on an ongoing basis. Generally what happens is I will keep a browser window open on my computer and I'll keep the status page up or the hot list page up, and it's sort of always there in the background, and I can keep an eye on any problems that may arise during the day, or just have a general overview of the usage of the classrooms at any given point in the day. If a user in a classroom presses the help button on the touch panels and submits a help request, that shows up immediately on the Meeting Manager hot list. It also sends a text page message to our systems technician who can then respond to that help request. By keeping Meeting Manager running on the desktop, I can see those help requests come up on the screen before the page is actually even sent to the systems technician, and often we can react to those problems almost immediately. Another nice feature of the software that we utilize is when a help request is generated, there's a text box on the screen that I can type a message in to the classroom that appears on the touch panel. Generally that would be a message that says, we've gotten their help request, someone's on the way, they'll be there within 5 minutes. This morning we had a help request come in, and the help request said there was a problem with the picture. We have some basic choices that they can choose from when they submit a help request. They can say there's a problem with the picture, there's a problem with the sound, a problem with the computer, or other. So a help request came in that it was a problem with the picture. It happened to be in the building that our offices are in, so we went upstairs to investigate, and as it turned out, a student was trying to plug a video camera into the aux input on the system, and they weren't quite sure how to bring that up on the screen. Actually, they had the projector muted, trying to turn the image on. So it was a case where they tried to fix it themselves and sort of made it worse, but from the time the help request came in till the time the problem was resolved was probably less than 5 minutes. So no class time was lost.
The things that we do enjoy about the equipment monitoring so far is we're getting emails when projector bulbs are getting close to the end of their lives, which is helping us do preventative maintenance. We're also getting the usage statistics that I mentioned before, where I can target certain faculty who are good at using certain technologies and have them teach other faculty. One of the challenges we face is Oftentimes we try to do a workshop, here's how to use a document camera, but we're not teachers, we're not faculty. So to be able to have another professor talk to a professor about a technology has made that dynamic change completely. So that's been a pretty instant benefit we've seen from being able to get equipment monitoring.
Our deployment of Meeting Manager has been successful because it's really allowed us to get a hold of this wide deployment of technology. It's enabled us to maximize the management of these systems with a minimum amount of staff. And it's provided us with real data as to equipment usage.
They were with us from the beginning of this deployment, so they helped us ramp into a complete campus-wide setup from virtually nothing. But what's been great about Meeting Manager and prior to that NetLinks is that we've been able to give remote access to Vistacom so that they can help troubleshoot and solve problems without having to issue a technician onto the site. So sometimes we'll have little glitches where a transport on a DVD isn't quite right, and I can call Vistacom's programmer, who we're pretty close with, and say, hey, could you dump up the code for this system, it's not behaving properly, and he's able to do that from their office, which actually isn't quite far from here, but still it saves you a lot of time when you can just have that sort of instant access. They've also helped us with the deployment of Meeting Manager in that they've worked with us to put all the hooks in for the Meeting Manager program. So, they had the program for the systems, and then we said, okay, we need to put the Meeting Manager modules in, and their programmers worked with us to do that.
Our Meeting Manager deployment was made easier by the relationship that we have with our integrator, Vistacom. They're not just a vendor of a product, they really work with us on all of our projects from conception to execution.
Meeting Manager and NetLinks allowed us to converge our AV and IT departments in a productive way to help enterprise management of our AV systems. Our next big challenge, as we see it, is working more with touch panels. We're looking forward to computer control in some of our labs, and we also see a lot of potential in the actual panel development as far as using animated graphics and other more web-type panel interfaces for our more advanced setups. Who knows what the future will bring for us here at Lafayette, but we have an exciting new space on the way and some great opportunities to push technology to new limits and find new and exciting ways to incorporate it into the curriculum.